Who is the better man to open gates to Saudi Arabia to crown jewel? There is no one better than Titus worldwide. After Brock Lesnar's unexpected return and attacking Lashley by reigniting their feud and weeks of chaos between these two, they clash one-on-one here at Crown Jewel in an opening match. Brock Lesnar apparently has not forgotten about his loss to Bobby Lashley at the Royal Rumble after interference from Reigns and came back to take revenge on him. When Brock was slowly walking around the ring, Lashley jumped on him from behind and launched Lesnar into the steel, speared him in the ring, through the barricade, and one more for good measure. But it obviously wasn't enough to keep the beast down. Then Lashley kicked out of the F5, dominated Lesnar, dropped him with a powerful spine buster, and held Brock in a hurtlock for a long time. Lesnar's face turned purple, and he even seemed hopeless, but he was refusing to give up. Referee was dropping Lesnar's hand 3 times, and on the 3rd he answered and somehow pinned Lashley via roll-up while being in the hurtlock. After the match, pissed off Lashley punished Brock one more time. Michael Cole said that Bobby Lashley proved that he's not worse and maybe better than Brock. But are you kidding me? Lashley attacked him from behind and speared him 3 times from that position, and he still lost. In a fair fight, Lesnar would win without a struggle. In the next one, there is a hell to pay for Karrion Kross, who has to contend with Drew McIntyre inside a steel cage. Easy to say that this wasn't a match, it was a battle. There are many highlights to mention. McIntyre's Michinoku driver, a throw from the top rope, Kross's running knee, McIntyre's spinebuster. Much was built on Karrion Kross's trash talk and Drew always making him pay for it. Drew McIntyre wanted to end the match, but Scarlett distracted him, and the match continued, where Kross hit his cross hammer and tried to escape in a losing effort because he received a massive superplex. The cage door got opened. Drew got his eyes sprayed again by Scarlett. Kross tried to escape, but McIntyre stopped him via punishing him in the ankle lock. McIntyre hit a devastating claymore out of nowhere and wanted to exit through the door. Scarlett locked it, but Drew started to climb over the cage. Meanwhile, Kross was trying to escape through the door and McIntyre won the race and the match. After what Kross and Scarlett did to Drew for the past several months, car accident wasn't enough. Drew obviously had to win here, and he did, but the ultimate satisfaction would be pinning Kross after a claymore, and yes, destroying Scarlett for good measure. The arena goes dark, and the Judgment Day arrive for a 6-man tag team match with the OC. I consider it only the beginning of their feud. There will be many matches and confrontations between these two stables, so this match is needed for shaking things up, so to speak. The OC needs someone to take care of Rhea problem, or kick her ass themselves. Damian Priest obviously has the score to settle with Luke Gallows, Dominic Mysterio of Carl Anderson, and of course the leaders, Finn Balor with AJ Styles. So many parallels between these two factions. Luke Gallows was one-man wrecking crew. Styles and Balor engaged in a classic wrestling fight. Of course I have to say about 6-man triple powerbomb at the same time. And how did the match end? You need 200 IQ for it. Dominic got referee distracted and Ripley dropped Styles, what opened the door for Balor to hit the dagger and win the match for the Judgment Day. How original and brilliant is this? Speaking for Crown Jewel, the OC still have not found a girl to solve Rhea problem. But speaking for later, on the next Raw, there was one who found the OC, and it was Mia Yim who finally bashed Ripley. It had to happen a long time ago. A nice match, but a stupid ending. But now, we're officially entering in the Battle of the Giants. 2 of the biggest men in current WWE are in a collision course. A very long time anticipated dream match has come to life. Omos and Braun Strowman are finding out who is the supreme giant of WWE. And look at the size difference. Only Giant Gonzalez was taller than Omos in wrestling history. This is insane. First they decided to compare the strength, and there Omos started dominating, bulldozing and bullying Strowman. He was easily throwing and slamming him around. He was trash talking the entire match. Strowman was barely giving answers. He barely clotheslined Omos out of the ring. But his Monster Express was derailed for the first time ever. In the ring, Omos missed his splash, and off the momentum Strowman lifted him up and power slammed him for 1-2-3 and the win. Despite his unconvincing victory, Braun saved his winning streak. Meanwhile, Omos showed his in-ring progression and dominance. And one more good point is that this match didn't last long. The Usos, which are on the verge of breaking tag team record, defend their titles here against the Brawling brutes of Rich the Fridge and Butch. They want payback for Sheamus. Butch went nuts, attacking both the Usos, and Jay barely kicked out a microsecond before the upset. Rich Holland showed impressive performance blasting through the champions, lifting up and throwing both the Usos, and of course 10 beats of the Badgerin. There was double splash from the Usos. Jay was trash talking Butch, and for that he got his fingers snapped. After Bruce's finisher, the cover was interrupted, and Butch received a massive 1D from the champions, which extended their title reign. Also, they beat the New Day on the next SmackDown, and they're already the longest reigning tag team champions ever. Thank you! Bray Wyatt made his long entrance with his new amazing theme song Shatter, and talked about how great or even the greatest he wanted to be, how being a monster made him feel in no pain, made him untouchable. But then he found himself in the kingdom of nothingness. That monster destroyed him. He said that he is Bray Wyatt now, and he is here to rewrite the ending to his story. But then his uncle Howdy interrupted him, trying to convince him to embrace his evil side. And the main event has come. Social media YouTube megastar Logan Paul takes on the head of the table Roman Reigns for his undisputed WWE Universal Championship. Logan Paul looks to upset the champion with one lucky punch, and he already knocked out Sami Zayn and Jey Uso. Meanwhile, Roman Reigns defends the entire WWE, not just his family. He looks to make an example out of Logan Paul that you can't just jump into this business and challenge the champion of champions, the tribal chief. In the beginning, as Roman got the upper hand, he started bragging, and he almost received that one lucky punch, but Reigns dodged it and left the ring to re-strategize and drink some water. After returning back to the ring, he dominated for a long time. Reigns was constantly trash-talking Paul, and was convincing everyone that Logan Paul and all outsiders are no match for him. But Logan Paul was simply outstanding. He pulled off so many enormous spots like jumping off the apron, gut-wrench suplex, a blockbuster. Reigns tried a Superman punch, but Paul finally hit his one lucky punch and his own Superman punch. And what happened? It wasn't enough to keep the head of the table down for free. He obviously kicked out. So it's a lesson for everyone. Even if you manage to pull off some devastating moves on Reigns, he will still kick out of it. You need many of those moves, but likely he will finish you faster. Then Logan Paul drank some water, took a phone and pulled off a huge splash onto the Spanish announce table. And his highlight got 50 million views after all. The Usos appeared to take exception and to beat the hell out of Logan's buddies. Jake Paul came out to knock Jay and Jimmy out. Roman Reigns kicked out of Logan's splash. The enforcer Solo Sikoa made his way to confront Jake Paul, and at that moment Logan Paul took out the Usos. And it was a rookie mistake, because after getting back to the ring, Roman Reigns met him with the Superman punch and one final spear to celebrate with the bloodline and bask in the glory. But Logan Paul was nice here. He's a very good technician and high flyer, willing to risk it all. Hats off to Logan Paul. This was neither the best nor the worst crown jewel ever, but it was loaded, it was heavy, it was massive, with so many dream matches and collisions. So show rating without a doubt has 8 stars. Thank you for your attendance. See you later. Acknowledge me.